The Gateway Pundit reports from Jim Hoft that Republicans were asked whether or not there should be congressional interest. And like Congress loves to do, they decided to vote against the will of their constituents, reminding me, if the people don't have any influence over our government officials, if what we want doesn't occur, and if what happens in our congressional seats is what they want, then do we really live in a republic? Is this actually a democracy? Do we have a representative institution? And the answer to that question, of course, is hell to the no, no, to the no, no, no. So in a jaw-dropping move late Monday, House Republicans once again slammed the door shut on transparency, voting 7-5 in the Rules Committee to block Representative Ro Khanna's amendment that would have forced Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice to publish all Epstein-related files publicly. Last week, Representative Khanna announced that he will introduce an amendment on Tuesday, forcing House to vote to release the full trove of Epstein-related files to the public. Now, the same party that spent years stonewalling investigations, blocking the release of Epstein's client list, and downplaying his vast connections to the global elite is now suddenly pretending to care about transparency. Jeffrey Epstein was a monster, but his real ties were to the Democrat elite. I don't know if that's exactly true, though. We do know there was a lot of Republican elite that were involved in this. I just want to remind you that, Republicans are not inherently good people. And that's sort of the lie that people tend to hold on to. But Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's Lolita Express at least 26 times, rubbing elbows with the pedophile financier. Why are the Epstein files still hidden? Who are the rich and powerful beings protected? Khanna wrote on Saturday, and on Tuesday, I'm introducing an amendment to force a vote demanding the full Epstein files be released to the public. The speaker must call a vote and put every Congress member on record. He continued saying, will the House allow a vote on Tuesday on the Khanna amendment demanding the full release of the Epstein files? This is absurd. I am absolutely livid. This is not even an overreaction. I am not being a reactionary. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Every American polled, in every independent poll, in every Democrat or Republican-led poll that I've read, from Gallup all the way down to YouGov, says they want the files released and they want accountability. And so what do our representatives do? They do what they've been doing for years and years and years. Like I said, when they're not having sex with each other in the chambers, they're doing the only other thing they like to do. It's not each other, it's the American people over. And I'm sorry for being crass. I know we're not supposed to curse a lot on this show, but if there's a time to curse, it's when people are covering for pedophiles.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of frustration. I have the same feeling like the rest of America. We're getting sick and tired of it. The way that they're pretty much, as Sarah mentioned, they're gaslighting us. They're bringing us in multiple different directions. First, it was, the files are being released. They're on Pam Bondi's desk. Then you have Trump come out saying, I can't believe we're still talking about this. Then it became the Democrats are actually, they put everything together and it's just a big scheme to make the Republicans look bad. And now reports are even saying that Trump has been reaching out to influencers and asking them to not report on the whole Epstein thing, to kind of let it go. So that's why we're seeing a lot of conservatives now on social media that are coming out and saying, okay, guys, let's just be done with this. Let's trust the administration. But unfortunately, I do not trust the administration right now. So it's something that we have to look into. Crimes were committed, especially against children. So we need to go ahead. We need to get this figured out and line up the wood chipper.
Yeah, and they're kind of looking for every excuse in the book to not release it. And that's what's so frustrating is before it was that they didn't actually have everything put together in a, I guess, digestible way that the American people could see it. And now they're saying, well, we want to protect the victims. It's like a new excuse every time. And usually when that happens, it's because they're looking for reasons to continue convincing us that it's okay that they withhold this information. And you brought up the fact that, this is obviously like a uniparty problem where they're not really, or the administration's problem, but it's also a uniparty problem because you have the left that wants to release it to make Trump look bad. They're saying that they're trying to help with transparency. That's what's going on with Democrats. They're using this for a political reason. And then you have the Trump administration that legitimately won't do what they said that they would do. And this is why a lot of MAGA supporters are so upset with Trump. And this speaks to the very problem that a lot of people were raising the alarm on, which is the whole influencer administration that we have right now, because that is exactly what the Trump administration is. They filled the cabinet with influencers. They have all these connections to right-wing media, and everybody said that was so based and so great for so long. Is it though? Because now he's reaching out and telling people, or the administration is reaching out to people on the right saying, oh, just don't talk about this. sorry, but that's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, I honestly
you know?
kind of agree with that. The whole influencer cabinet is just like, it's so unserious to me. It's like, why does the right have to be so corny like that? You know what I mean? Like the left, it's like, oh, there's this person who, I mean, of course, not in every case. Like we have like Obama, who was like a community organizer and things like that. But it's like, generally, they do kind of value a little bit of prestige. They value people who have experience in what they're doing. And it's like you have someone like Dan Bongino. It's like, I don't think he ever worked in government before, did he? And it's like, yeah, he talked about politics on his show, but how much real life experience is that just like looking at things on social media? Like, I wouldn't think I'm equipped to run for Congress or something because I talked on a show. Like, I don't know. I think it's just a little bit silly. Someone like Trump makes more sense because he's obviously, he's a much older guy. He's dealt with the real world for long enough. He's a very successful businessman. So I feel like that's a little bit of a different situation. But when it comes to these guys who are just like these like podcasters or whatever, like I don't really know if I want them in charge of the FBI, to be honest. It's kind of unserious. I don't know if you guys agree with me.
And that's the thing about the right, and I will say this as somebody who's worked in right-wing media for quite a number of years. You know, they say that they want to replace the mainstream media. They want to be the main source of information for the American people. And that's a great goal to have. And it's great that, you know, there's an opportunity to replace the lying mainstream media that, or rather the mainstream media that was not completely honest with a lot of their reporting. And a lot of American people obviously are frustrated with that. And you know, several polls reflect that. However, you can't replace it with something that's dysfunctional or worse or just as controlled by the government, because even though it's quote on our side or on the conservative side, if that's your perspective, it's still not ideal. There should be a standard, to your point. There should be like prestige. There should be an understanding that like there are certain things that aren't okay. Like you can't just collude with the government, and the media should not be colluding together to stop certain information from getting out there.
Yeah, and that's kind of the irony of the right always talking about like independent media, and they're like, oh, X is fully independent, and this is like, we have freedom of speech on there, and look at all these independent podcasters. Like, dude, they're literally just like equally in bed with the Trump administration as like Fox News is, or you know what I mean? It's like,
well,
at this point,
it's a Jewish shit show.
Yeah,
it's like really what it is. That's what we're seeing is an administration that's like a home loan in 2008. You know what I mean? It's like get some financier who thinks that they can trick God by changing the light bulb in their refrigerator so it doesn't go out on Saturdays. It's like well, that's not really Then they're like, oh, we can also trick the people by changing the numbers on their loans, and it's like we'll repackage a bunch of C and D loans and call them AAA loans, and then we'll end up basically guaranteeing that nothing bad's going to happen. Well, what could go wrong giving a loan to Eduardo Ramirez for $800,000 for a 2-bedroom house in Watts, California? And then that's basically what's happening here. It's like, what could go wrong when you put a bunch of dual citizen, dual allegiance fools that have no dedication to your country? Something's wrong when like Avi Yemeni of Rebel News, when Rebel News itself, which is Canadian, is like, you can just predict what these people are going to say. It's like, oh, Trump is doing the right thing here. Yeah, we really should worry about Epstein. And it's like, Avi, number one, you're Australian. Shut the fuck up, okay? Number two, you're not even Christian. You're Jewish. You think Jesus is in manure. I don't want to hear your opinion, okay? You're in a cult.
Well, he was also in the IDF.
That's what I was going to be number three. Number three, you literally killed Palestinian children and admitted it from what I saw, okay? It's like, you're not really a very good source when it comes to whether we should protect Israel or not. And this is not even to be anti-Semitic or anything. What I've really seen is the argument has come down to right now, this is the split on the right wing entirely. It's just that there are people who are dual citizens or evangelical Zionists who want to protect Israel more than they care about the truth Americans are protecting these kids. And then there are people who care about America, the truth, and protecting these kids. And if you want to protect the kids, or you love America, or you want the truth, they will slander you. They will call you anti-Semitic. They will call you obsessed with the Jews. And you go, no, I'm not obsessed with the Jews. I'm obsessed with one right now. And his name is Jeffrey Epstein. And he is a pedophile, and we want accountability. And so the fact is, if you're telling me, you stupid bitch, you're telling me, Avi, I'm sorry, I'm very, 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 very upset at him right now. If you're telling me, dude, you're telling me right now that if you want accountability against pedophilia, which is a very serious crime and very serious, that makes somebody anti-Jewish, when you have the Ministry of Combating Anti-Semitism saying
So he's
that
he's
it's
saying
anti-Israeli.
if you're anti-pedophilia, you're anti-Jew.
So what does that say about Jews, guys? What does that say about?
It's not good. It's not,
Crazy.
it's not a good statement. I'm saying it's bad PR.
Yeah.
It's not
is.
good PR, and it makes me angry because it's like, you're telling me that now wanting accountability for a pedophile ring is anti-Israel. Like, this is getting to a point of absurdity to where Americans, I'm going to just say what Tucker said, we are fed up. And if people can hear the anger in my voice, you can hear the frustration. It's because we have a rogue government.